football fans, we are ready for NFL picks for week number 7 in the league where they play for pay. And let's get right to it. Rolling right along. Hard to believe we're in week 7 already, almost the halfway point of the season. Let's get cooking here. 4 teams have a bye this week. Carolina has a bye. They are 4-2, beat Tampa Bay. Carolina's doing a nice job with the backup quarterback. Who knows what happens when Cam Newton gets back. They seem to have a lot of moxie with this backup quarterback. They've won all 4 games with him. Carolina, nice job getting up to 4-2 after the 0-2 start. Carolina on a bye. Cleveland on a bye. They're 2-4. Lost a close game to Seattle. Cleveland's got to be classified as a disappointment. Everyone thought they'd be the surprise of the league this year. Not so far. They're 2-4. Disappointment right now. Tampa Bay 2-4. Like I just mentioned, they lost to Carolina. Had 7 turnovers. 7 turnovers. Can't win any football games with 7 turnovers and a bad defense. So Tampa Bay needs a bye week in the worst way. Pittsburgh on the bye. They're 2-4. They beat the LA Chargers with their third-string quarterback, the Steelers. That's hard to believe. The Steelers won with their third-string quarterback. That says a lot about the Chargers. So the Steelers on a bye. All right, here we go. Week number 7. Pick number 1. Let's go to Buffalo. Whoa, Buffalo. Whoa, Buffalo. Hey. 4-1, Buffalo. Buffalo coming off the bye. Buffalo has had a very nice season so far. Had the tough loss to New England. That's their only loss of the year. You know Buffalo's game. They're going to play good defense. Games are going to be usually close. They're not going to score a boatload of points, but they've been getting the job done. Much improved Buffalo Bill team. Buffalo at home, minus 16.5 over the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins 0-5, lost to Washington by a point. They missed a 2-point conversion at the end, and all the Dolphin fans are saying, thank goodness we missed that 2-point conversion. We didn't want to win the game. The last thing you want to do if you're the Dolphins, after you've jettisoned every one of your good players away, and it's obvious you want to tank to get the number 1 pick, the last thing you want to do is win a game, especially against Washington, who had no wins either, and is going to jump you in the draft. So the Dolphin fans were like, thank goodness we didn't get the 2-point conversion. We're still alive for that number 1 pick. Right now, the Dolphins, the second worst team in the NFL. Cincinnati 0-6 has got them beat right now. So right now, the Bengals would have the number 1 pick. Dolphins number 2. But the Dolphin fans are rejoicing. We lost the game to Washington. As far as this game again, anytime you're going with a Miami game this year, you bet against them, use the other team in the super teaser. The spread is 16.5. That's outrageous. But you don't feel confident taking the Dolphins with any amount of points. To me, you super teaser lovers that get a boatload of points, that can get this game down to even, you take Buffalo and you go with your other teams and you use Buffalo in your super teaser. Buffalo will win the game. There's no doubt about that. Buffalo is pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go down to D.C. I just mentioned Washington with the San Francisco 49ers on minus 9.5 against the Washington Redskins. Washington 1-5. They did hang on and beat Miami. San Francisco 5-0. Beat the Rams in Los Angeles. The surprise team of this year is not the Browns. It's the Niners. I told you before the season the Niners were going to have a nice year, and they are exceeding expectations. The Niners are a very good team right now. By the way, did you watch the Ram game in Los Angeles last week? The whole crowd was red. Come on, Ram fans. You can't show up. I mean, I expect it from the Chargers. We'll get to them later where the whole crowd was Steeler fans. The whole crowd here in Los Angeles was Niner fans. It was all red. It was all red. Where are you Ram fans? Where are you Ram fans? You got to show up. Terrible job there. So the Niners, minus 9.5 in Washington. Again, this is for you 3-team teaser lovers where you get 9 points and you can get this down to even. The Niners will win. I don't want to hear about a hangover, a letdown. Washington is not as good as San Francisco. San Francisco will find a way through. This is for your 3-team teaser lovers that get 9 points. You can get this game down to even. Niners roll. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go to the Big D in Dallas. Jerry's World. How about them Cowboys? And I say it very subdued today. With the Dallas Cowboys a -3 against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I say, fly Eagles fly. With not a lot of energy either. Because both of these teams did not do well last week. The Cowboys are down to 3-3, lost to the Jets. The Cowboys have now lost 3 games in a row. The Eagles are 3-3. They got bombed by Minnesota last week. So both teams not playing great football at all. This is for first place. Big game. Been disappointed with both teams so far. Dallas, like I said, 3 games in a row they've lost. They lose to the Jets. And the Eagles, they just got bombed by Minnesota. And just both teams not firing on all cylinders. But the game is for first place. And another thing. I'm tired of Jerry Jones. I'm tired of Jerry Jones. After the game against the Jets, Jerry Jones, there wasn't a camera that Jerry Jones wasn't involved in last week. I mean, he had his mug in every camera he could get a hold of. Every single camera Jerry Jones was doing an interview with. I mean, he's just... And another thing, I'm tired of the networks always showing Jerry Jones when the Cowboys score. Cowboys score, let's go up to Jerry Jones high-fiving. But then when the Cowboys are losing, we don't see any shots of Jerry Jones. Be consistent. Show them when they're winning and losing, or don't show them at all. And then after the game, Jerry Jones is doing a campaign. He's doing a tour. He's on this show. He's on that show. He's in front of this camera. And can the cameramen get any closer to Jerry Jones? They were basically almost up his nose. They couldn't get any closer to Jerry Jones. It had his big mug right there. And Jerry Jones was all over the place in the postgame. One of the reporters asked him, Jerry, how big is this Cowboy-Eagle game? Jerry Jones' response, well, I wasn't happy with our offense or our defense in this game against the Jets. And, we could have done better on both sides of the ball. Wait a minute. The guy just asked you how big is this Dallas-Eagle game, Jerry. And then he asked him again. So, Jerry, how big would you say this Dallas-Philadelphia game is coming up this weekend? Well, the officials have a tough job, and, I don't want to go too much into that. And, our offense and our defense could have played better, and, we don't want to dwell on certain things. Jerry, how big is this Dallas-Philadelphia game coming up? Well, I haven't had that conversation with Garrett yet. I haven't made that phone call, in all honesty. Garrett's our coach. I haven't, gotten to that point yet. Jerry, how big is this Dallas-Philadelphia game? Can you answer the question? You went off on 8 different subjects. And he never did answer the question. Oh my goodness, Jerry Jones, how big is the game? It's big. It's for first place. I'm going to move the line to 9 in a 2-team teaser and take the Eagles. Both of these teams are mirror images of each other. They're both struggling. It's a division game. It's for first place. You got to think it's going to be close. I don't know how you pick a winner in this game. I'm going to take the Eagles +9 and say it's close. That's what I'm going to do. Jerry, it's a big game. Just answer the question. Yeah, it's a big game. It's for first place. Oh, my goodness. You don't have to talk about the sun, moon, and stars. I mean, my goodness. Jerry Jones all over the place. He looked lost. Enough of him already. Taking the Eagles +9. I think it's going to be a very close game. It's a must-watch game. These division games are always solid. I'll take Philadelphia there +9. I didn't like that some of the Eagles were predicting a win this week. I never liked that because predictions are not what they used to be. Predictions, are not what they used to be. Joe Namath made a prediction, it meant something. Mark Messier made a prediction, it meant something. Patrick Ewing made a prediction, it meant nothing. And since then, there's been a million predictions that have gone by the boards. Enough predictions. Go out there and play. Take the Eagles +9. Should be a good game. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go with the Motor City in Detroit. Where the Minnesota Vikings are now -1 over the Detroit Lions. Minnesota 4-2 beat up Philadelphia. Cousins, really solid game. Listen, when Minnesota gets cooking at home, they can look that good. They can look that good. They have the ability to look that good. Then other games, you take them on the road and they'll score 10 points against like Jacksonville and lose. So Minnesota has the capability of being a big-time team. They're just not consistent enough, and Cousins is not consistent enough. But they had a big-time performance against the Eagles. Detroit, they got to be absolutely heartsick. 2-2-1, lost to Green Bay. And how did they lose this game? I know the calls and the no calls and all that, but that's the problem when you settle for field goals. Field goal, field goal, field goal. 5 times they got down in the Green Bay territory and they're kicking field goals. I mean, Detroit's got to be sick. They could have easily won this game. They could have easily won the Chief game. The game they tied against Arizona, they could have easily won. And you look up, Detroit's 2-1, and in that division, that gets you last place. Last place. Detroit's got to be sick. Sick. Because they've played better than a last place team. They could have easily and probably deserved to win the game against Green Bay. And I'm not just going to dwell on the calls and the no calls. Detroit also killed themselves with the field goals, the drop passes. I mean, all sorts of things going on. Lions got to get past this. They got to be tougher than this. I mean, they got to find ways to win this game. Same thing with the Chief game. Chiefs run back a 100-yard fumble return. Same thing with the Arizona game. The Lions had that sewed up. Let Arizona come back and tie them. I do think the Lions are improved. I do think talent-wise they are improved. This is a monster game, especially for Detroit. Look at the division. Green Bay's 5-1, Minnesota's 4-2, Chicago's 3-2. The Lions can't afford to lose another game here. You go to 2-3-1, you're really got an uphill battle. This game will be a just brawl in Detroit. This will be a low-scoring brawl, I think. A black and blue game if there ever was one. I'm going to move the line to 7 and take the Lions. I'd love to get the hook and get it to 7.5. I know sometimes you can buy that hook. Look for a spread that's 1.5 here if you're doing a 2-team teaser. See if you can get it to 7.5. I like that number a little better. Detroit has been in nothing but close games this year. Every one of their games has been by a few points, win or lose. You have to think this game is going to be close. Minnesota on the road usually plays closer games. They can bomb teams at home, but on the road the games are a little closer. I think this game's coming down to the wire. I think it's 20-17 somebody. Very good game. Must-watch game. I tell you, Minnesota-Detroit is a very nice game. Dallas-Philadelphia is a nice game. You got some good games this week, but I'm going to go Detroit there. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. It's another interesting game. Let's go to Indianapolis, where the Indianapolis Colts are -1.5 against the Houston Texans. Indianapolis 3-2 off the bye. Had that nice win in Kansas City 2 weeks ago. How about the Texans? They're up to 4-2. They also beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I keep telling you about Watson. He gives you a chance to win every week. The Texans are a dangerous team because they're never out of it. With Watson, you always have a chance. You know they can do some things on defense. The Texans are a team you don't want to play. They're just a dangerous group with Watson. They're never out of it. They can always steal a game. They're a very exciting team one way or the other. Very interesting game here. I'm going to move the line to 7.5 and take the Texans. Again, I think the game is close. I think the game is a field goal game. It always seems that like Watson has a chance with the ball late in the game to either win or lose the game. I think it'll be no different here. I think it's a white knuckler. I think it's a very interesting game. It could go either way. So if I'm playing it, to me, you can't pick a winner here either way. Who are you going to pick to win this game? 50% of the people like Indy, 50 like Houston. To me, you move it to 7.5, you take the Texans, you got to think it's close. That's the way to play the game. If you play the game, that's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go to Soldier Field in Chicago. The Windy City, where the Chicago Bears are -3.5 against the New Orleans Saints. You know it's coming. Who dat? I said, who dat? The New Orleans Saints are 5-1, beat Jacksonville. I told you I loved that game last week. I didn't know how Jacksonville was favored in that game. No respect for the Saints at all. Bears 3-2 off the bye. We'll see about the quarterback. Will he play this week? Bears got a bunch of injuries. Bears at home -3.5 against New Orleans. Again, I know the Bears are a good team. I know they really need this game. I know their defense is a dominant group. Again, not much respect for New Orleans again. I'm going to move the line to 9.5 and take the Saints, thinking this is a low-scoring, close game. The Saints have a very good defense this year, and I'll tell you what, when they get Breeze back, the Saints are one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. The way their defense is playing, you get Breeze back, they can beat anyone. This game should be a low-scoring, again, very good game. You got some good games this week, folks. I mean, this is another one here. This should be like the Minnesota-Detroit game. Very low scoring, hard-hitting, good defense, old-school football. Could go either way. Keep an eye on the Bears' injuries. They got a couple of them, and the quarterback. We don't know if he's going to play. I move it to 9.5, and I take the Saints. That's the way I would play the game. That's pick number 6. Pick number 7. Let's go to the Great Northwest. Beautiful part of the country. If you haven't been there, get there. Let's get to Seattle, Washington, where the Seattle Seahawks are -4 against the Baltimore Ravens. How about Seattle? I got to start giving Seattle a lot of credit. 5-1, won another close game in Cleveland. They've won all the close games this year, Seattle. They beat the Rams by a point. They beat the Bengals by a point. They beat the Steelers by 2. They win this game close. They've won all the close games. Give them credit. Russell Wilson playing phenomenal. Pete Carroll doing a good job. Another great job by Pete Carroll with the personnel. Every time you think Seattle's going to take a step back, they always seem to be a good team. They're never a bad team. Pete Carroll does a great job with personnel all the time, and Russell Wilson is playing fabulous football. I'm not a big MVP guy, but he's definitely in the running for the MVP. Got to give Seattle some credit here. I did not think they'd be this good this year. I know they got a break in the Ram game. They could have lost some of these games. They won them all. That says something about their team. 5-1. Nice job by the Hawks. They're at home. -4 against Baltimore. Baltimore's 4-2. Beat Cincinnati. Baltimore's been winning. They haven't been winning great. They haven't been overly impressive, but they're getting the job done. 4-2, first place. Again, and this is a theme. I'm moving the line to 10, and I'm taking Baltimore. This is going to be another close game, another good game. You got some really good games this week. Dallas, Philly, Minnesota, Detroit, Indy, Houston, Chicago, New Orleans, and this game is also good. This should be a very close game. Seattle has played nothing but close games this year. They've won them, but they've been in all close games. Same thing with Baltimore. They've been in a lot of close games too. You have to think this game is going to be close. So move it to 10. I feel comfortable with the Ravens that this game is going to be a one-score game. That's pick number 7. Road trip. My bags are packed. And we had such a good time last week as we saw 2 thrillers. We went to Washington, Miami, where it was a 1-point game. And then we went to Arizona, Atlanta in the desert, and it was also a 1-point game. How good was that on our 2-team road trip, bags are packed trip? How good was that last week? So let's get right back to it. Who's with me? Who's with me for Jacksonville, Cincinnati in the jungle in Cincinnati, Ohio? My bags are packed. Who's coming with me? Let's go! I said, let's go! You can't miss this one. Jacksonville on the road, -3 in Cincinnati. That says it all, folks. Cincinnati 0-6, lost to Baltimore. Cincinnati, worst record in football right now. Worst record in football. That's hard to believe. Jacksonville 2-4, lost to New Orleans. They're showing Jacksonville a lot of respect the last couple of weeks, considering they're a 2-4 team playing with the backup quarterback. And by the way, Jefferson Ramsey out to to Los Angeles. Ramsey is now on the Rams, by the way. So this game, again, to me, this is a throwout. When I first looked at it, I say, 2-team teaser, make it 9, take Cincinnati. It's going to be like a 10-7 game. To me, this is a throwout. This will probably be a 10-7 game, maybe a 9-9 tie, something like that. But my bags are still packed. There should be a crowd of about 30,000 in Cincinnati, Ohio for this classic matchup between Jacksonville and Cincinnati. Who is with me? I didn't let you down last week. We had a ball at the Hard Rock in Miami and the Desert in Arizona. 2 one-point games. Let's do it again this week. My bags are packed. Who's with me? Let's go! Probably a throwout. Pick number 9. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from where I am right now. With the New England Patriots, a -10 against the New York Football Jets. The Patriots 6-0, beat the Giants. What else is new? The Patriots are 6-0. Defense is awesome. People are questioning the offense. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. I know they're trying to get Gronkowski out of retirement. That's not going to happen. I know they lost Brown. They'll find a way to get it done on offense. Defense has been awesome. Just awesome. Jets 1-4, beat Dallas. How about the New York Jets? Darnold came back and looked really good. He didn't look rusty at all. He played a very good game. Had the one bad pick, but played very well. Jets looked inspired in that game. They really did. Looked like a whole new team. I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to move the line to 16 in a 2-team teaser. I'm going to take the New York Football Jets to at least hang around. Jets look inspired last week. Got a win. Darnold looked good. Division game. Games in New York are usually a little closer than they are in New England. New England not firing on all cylinders on offense. I think the Jets can hang around a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to win. No. I'm not going to say that. Say they hang around a little bit in this game. I think the joint will be jumping this week. I think there'll be a little excitement for the Jets. You don't get much excitement for the Jets. I think they're going to have some excitement this week. And I think they're going to hang around. 16 is a boatload when you're getting the home team. I'll take a chance. I don't like going against New England. Can't pick them every week, though. Jets 2-team teaser. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. By the way, that Jet game is the Monday night game. Pick number 10. And the Dallas game is the Sunday night game. Pick number 10. Let's go back to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here. With the New York Football Giants, a -3 against the Arizona Cardinals. Giants 2-4, lost to New England. How about everyone stop picking on the young quarterback? What did you expect this guy to do? I mean, the first 2 weeks, everyone loved him. Now the last 2 weeks, everyone's jumped off the bandwagon. Calm down, people. I know we're in a society where it's instant gratification. Text messages, microwave dinners. I understand that. The kid has played, 4 games? What did you think he was going to do against Minnesota and New England's defense without Barkley and a bad team? What did you think he was going to do? Come on, give him a break. It's going to take some time. I think he's going to be good, but calm down and give the kid a break. My goodness, the New York media. Calm down. Giants at home, -3 against Arizona. How about Arizona? 2-3-1, beat Atlanta. Atlanta misses the extra point at the end. Arizona almost blew that game, had a huge lead, almost let it get away. Arizona, I'll tell you, 2-3-1 is pretty good for them because I didn't think they were going to win any games this year. I mean, I wasn't sure about the quarterback or the coach. Arizona's been battling. They really have. They've been in most of the games this year. So give Arizona credit. I'm going to move the line to 9, as they said in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 9, and take Arizona. I don't think either one of these teams can blow out each other. I think it's close either way. So I got to feel comfortable taking 9 points with Arizona. Now listen, this is not one of my favorite plays of the week. If I had to pick the game, take 9 with Arizona. They've been in a lot of the games. I don't think the Giants can blow out anybody. I mean, they did blow out Washington, but I don't count Washington as anything. So I'll take Arizona there, +9, go that way. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11, the Thursday game. You know, I can't stand Thursday night football. But here we go. We have a nice divisional matchup. Kansas City, -4.5 in Denver. Denver has turned it around. They're 2-4. Beat Tennessee, shut them out. Give Denver a lot of credit. They've won the last 2 games. Defense without Chubb playing well. Denver didn't quit. Denver's also been in all their games this year. They actually could have a better record than 2-4. Kansas City. Kansas City. Down to 4-2. They got Hill back last week. He played well. They lost to Houston, though, and the defense. I told you this last week. The offense is awesome. We know that. But when you can't stop anybody and your offense is sitting on the sidelines, you're in trouble. They can't stop the run and they can't get to the quarterback. That's a bad combination. Their defense actually looks worse than it was last year, and that's hard to believe. Kansas City not doing a good job plugging up this defense. I mean, you just need a few stops with that offense. Their defense does not look like championship material again. This has been going on for years. This goes back a few years ago when the Steelers went into Kansas City and handed the ball off to Le'Veon Bell, and the Chiefs couldn't stop him. And last year when they couldn't stop New England. And here we go again. They couldn't stop Houston, and they couldn't stop the Colts the week before. This is a problem. It's not good enough. This defense is not good enough. I'm going to move the line to 10.5 and take Denver. Short week. Denver's home. They've won 2 in a row. They've been in all their games, and I do not trust that Chief defense. I just do not trust it. And I know Denver, Chubb's out. Who knows about Sanders? Denver has been in a lot of their games, and they're good at home. And I'm not saying I'm going to pick Denver to win this game, but I think if I can get 10.5 on the home field on a Thursday night with that bad Chief defense, I think Denver's going to be fired up for this game. I think the crowd is going to be electric. I think Denver hangs around, so I'll take them with the 10.5. That's pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Interesting game here. The Green Bay Packers are minus 6.5 against the Oakland Raiders. With Chucky. And the Grim Reaper. And Darth Vader. And the guy in the gorilla costume. And this crazy schedule Oakland's on, by the way. Oakland off a bye last week. Their schedule's insane. It's just insane, their schedule. They go to Indianapolis, then they go to London to play the Bears, then they have a bye week, then they're in Green Bay. They're on the road basically to November. What kind of schedule is this for the Raiders? You know what? The Raiders have done a really good job. They're 3-2. 3-2. Imagine if the Raiders ever won this game. They could be one of the surprise teams of the year. And we didn't think that when they were 1-2. We thought, it's going to be a long year for the Raiders. It's an interesting game. They got Green Bay. They're 5-1. Lucky to beat Detroit. Very lucky to beat Detroit. Got it done. 5-1, doing a solid job. They do have a few injuries now. We'll see about Adams. Will he play this week? Bunch of their receivers are banged up. We'll see if they can get back on the field this week. This is a very interesting game. I can see this game going, one of those both ways games that I always talk about. To me, again, I'm not, like I said last week, I wasn't ready to take the Lions in Green Bay. I'm not ready to take Oakland to win in Green Bay. So if you ask me who's going to win, I'd move the line to even and say Green Bay finds a way to somehow get it done again. There is a case for Oakland plus 12.5 here. There is a case. They have a bye. They've won a couple in a row. Green Bay's got some injuries. Short week. Didn't look great on Monday night. Sloppy. There is a case for that. But if you ask me who is going to win, say Green Bay finds a way to get it done. Interesting game. Keep an eye on that game. If the Raiders ever were to get that game and go up to 4-2, very interesting. So that's the way I play that game. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13. Let's go to Music City in Nashville. Oh, my. Do I have to pick this game? Where the Tennessee Titans are -2 against the L.A. Chargers. Tennessee down to 2-4, lost to Denver, got shut out. Shut out in this day and age in football. Tennessee can't move the ball from here to there. Can't score any points. Defense plays hard. Can't score any points. Mariota on the bench. He's looking more and more like he can't get it done. We'll see about Tannehill. They looked a little better with Tannehill, but still couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And then you got the L.A. Chargers. 2-4. Lost to the Steelers at home, and the Steelers were playing their backup quarterback, who's best known for winning a duck calling contest. And the Steelers led this game 21-0. That's back-to-back no-shows for the Chargers. They didn't show up against Denver at home, and they didn't show up against the Steelers at home. And when I say at home, I say that very loosely. The Chargers don't have a home field advantage. They're on the road every week. 80% of that crowd was Steeler fans last week. 2 weeks ago, 75% of the crowd was Denver fans. Where are the Charger fans? They weren't in San Diego either because the opposing teams took over that building too, their fans. And when the Chargers move into their new stadium, I think it'll be the same way. I think it's going to be all opposing fans. We'll see about the Rams. I think the Rams have fans. They didn't show up against the Niners, right? The Rams will do better with their home fans. I think they're around. I don't know where the Charger fans are. Are there any out there? What's the story? I mean, and then the performance. No show again. You know, I thought the Chargers were getting out of this last year. They had a lot of camaraderie. They pulled out a lot of games they usually lose. They end up losing to New England in the playoffs. They had a lot of injuries, no disgrace there. But they've come back again this year, and it's those same old Chargers. The same old story, the same old Rivers, the same old soft play. Gordon hasn't helped them coming back. They look lost. They look lifeless. They got nothing. That performance was just as bad as the performance the week before against Denver. A couple more of these and the coach is going to get fired. Terrible job. Now listen, this game I do not like at all. Now I've told you about this rule in the NFL for the last few years since I've been doing this show. Every time a team gets shut out in the NFL, the next week they either win or cover the spread. It's happened every single time I've been doing the show. Under normal circumstances, I'd look at this game, I'd say both of these teams are terrible. I'd either throw it out or move the line to 8 and 2 teams or take the Chargers. But that rule, where you get shut out one week and come back and win or cover the next week, always seems to happen. So to me, Tennessee is going to find a way to win this game. They're home. I think Tannehill will give them a spark. Their defense plays hard. They got to get something going on offense, and the Chargers, to me, look lifeless. They look absolutely like a dead carcass. So I will respect that rule, the shutout rule, that the team will come back the next week. And I guess the reason for that is the team is so embarrassed that they got shut out that they come back with a vengeance the next week. Now, I don't know if we can use the word a vengeance with Tennessee, but I think they'll play better this week. I don't know what you're going to get from the LA Chargers, but I know you didn't get nothing from them the last couple of weeks. So if I had to play the game, I say Tennessee wins it. That's pick number 13. And the final pick number 14, again, this is a mess. This is probably a throwout. The LA Rams are -3.5 in Atlanta. Rams 3-3. Lost to the Niners, got beat up. They did trade for Ramsey, but he's still got a back injury. Who knows about Gurley? He was out last week. Will he play? Like I said, it was all Niner fans in the building last week. That was embarrassing for Los Angeles. So you don't know what's going on with the Rams. They're in a free fall. They've lost 3 in a row. And they're in big trouble in that division. They're now 3 games behind the Niners, and they lost to them. They had 2 games behind Seattle. They lost to them. And the NFC is a lot stronger than the AFC. So it's going to be tough to make the playoffs. The Rams are in danger time. And I know it's early. I don't want to be dramatic. It's danger time for the Rams. And then you got the Falcons. 1-5. Lost to Arizona. Came back. I'll give them credit. They were getting blown out. Didn't quit. Came back. And then missed an extra point at the end and lose by a point to Arizona. Atlanta 1-5. 1-5. How in the world do you pick this mess? This is slop. Normally, I love those home teams getting points. I'd say, 9.5, teaser, take Atlanta. Game's going to be close. You could play it that way. If you ask me who's going to win and Gurley plays, I would say Rams, it's kind of time, right? You better start winning. But you take Gurley out of this, and the way the Rams have played, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about the Rams anymore. And that's saying something because the Falcons stink. Their defense stinks. And hot Atlanta knows it. Their team smells. They usually play a little better Atlanta at home. I might maybe look at the over and under in this game. You figure there's going to be some points scored. Well, the Ram offense hasn't exactly been lighting it up either. And you take Gurley out, and who knows? To me, this game's a throwout. If you asked me who was going to win, I had to pick a game and Gurley plays, I would say the Rams got to win this game. But I'm not so sure. maybe stay away from that one. That's pick number 14. So there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. We will be back with you on Tuesday for week number 8, believe it or not. Enjoy the games. There's a lot of good ones this week. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Remember, money management. Don't go crazy. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.